Alright, good morning. Welcome to GIS 300. I'm going to pop into my remote connection here, and today we are talking about Model Builder in ArcGIS. And this is a tool that exists in ArcGIS Desktop and ArcGIS Pro. And it's one of the most useful and powerful platforms in ArcGIS because it will take an input data set, apply a tool, provide an output data set that can go into another tool, and so on and so forth. So any input data set I want to put in here, any digital elevation model, if I take this one out and plug that one in, it will take it, it will fill in the gaps, calculate the flow direction, flow accumulation, do the raster calculator, stream order, and raster to polygon, taking an elevation model and giving me streams at the other end. So if I want to open one of these, no, I don't want to save the changes. I have to go into the catalog, find it, right-click on it, and say not open for whatever reason, but edit. Bit of an odd thing. But there it is, and that's ready to run. I'm not going to actually run that because that would take several days. But if I close that, that is the way that fundamentally works. But if you want to create a new one, I'll show you how to do that. I have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to the right of the scale. And that's the model builder icon once that starts working for me. Come on, you can do it. Alright, so now that that's done thinking about its life, there's the model builder icon. And opening that allows me to begin building the model. And the way that can work is that you take data from here in the table of contents, click, hold, drag, release, drop in here, and there's input data. Once that gets done loading, I can go into the search, and I can search for whatever tool I want to apply. So let's say I just want to use the fill, and then I just click, hold, drag, release, and plop that in there. And now I need to tell it that this tool receives this data. I use the connect thing, click once on the data, and then click once again where it wants to go, and then tell it that is the input surface raster. And now, once that is ready, good. So it's yellow, which means it's ready to go, but if I double click on it, it'll let me see whatever options go with that tool. And if that's something like a buffer, I can enter in the buffer distance and the units and tell it where I want it to save. In this case, it's just saving to my C drive, and there's no other options to work with. So then this is the input data, this is the tool, this is the output of the tool, and this output can be the input into the next tool. So you'll start to see how all of this works. Before I close that, I should show you how to save these. So model, save as, and the model has got to live inside of a toolbox. You can't just save it on its own. So over here all the way to the right is new toolbox, and then I can double click on that toolbox and save the model within it. And that is how you create and save a model in Model Builder. Now the videos you're going to watch today are things I've recorded previously. 2 of them demonstrate lab number 2, which is of course familiar to you at this point, and one of the demonstrations is in ArcGIS Desktop, and one of them is in ArcGIS Pro. And then there's 2 other videos that show how to incorporate the select by attributes, and how to repeat a function over and over and over again with different input data and different parameters to repeat an analysis many times without the potential for human error. And those last 2 are things that I was just doing anyway, and decided I would record a video to remind myself how to do it later, or have reference for other people, now you. So I think those 4 videos will give you a pretty good idea of how Model Builder works, how the pieces go together, and how it can make an analysis much more efficient. The way I often use this is for any analysis with a number of operations involving very big data sets, because if something takes 3 hours to run, I might start it running at 5 o'clock at night, go home, and it'll run for 3 hours, get done, and go on to the next step, rather than waiting for me to tell it what to do next. So that's very useful. Another thing is, rather than transferring all of the data to another computer or saving all of the output files, you can just save the model builder. And you see on this one, if I open this up, or open it by editing, every one of these steps has an output that is quite large. And if I tried to send all of those, it would be ridiculous. But I can just send the elevation model and this model that says what to do with it, and somebody can recreate all of those, which might be more efficient. Or if I have a situation where, well, I'd really like to keep this, but I don't want to have all this stuff stored on my desktop. Maybe I'll someday want to have the flow direction for something else. I can just save the input data and the model, and if I ever really want flow direction again, I can repeat this model as far as here. So, do go ahead and watch all those videos, and what I want you to do for homework is recreate one of them. And there's data on the student materials drive to support that. If you're doing lab number 2, you can use desktop or pro. It might be a good time to start playing around with Pro. The steps are pretty similar, but it's a good thing to learn how to do. So that, I think, is that. I'm going to pop back to my main screen here and make that silly thing go away. Well, let's see. So that is that. So go ahead and watch those videos, replicate one of the model builder outputs, and I'll want to see a screenshot of the model builder model and the output results. So just screenshots, don't need a big involved math or any of that. So stay safe, good luck, and hope to see you soon.